I'll just make a couple of comments here. And it's all been great conversation, and I've learned a lot. But when you're thinking about this, I would encourage everyone to really increase their collaboration across campus, um, reduce that silo mentality. I think we all get so busy in our day to day that it's easy to do that. And you have to be intentional. I mean, I think you can't be increased collaboration without really being very intentional about it. When for any, I mean, I am the risk and compliance officer here. So when I think about compliance, everybody has their own opinion of what that is, Clery included. You always hear, should it be the floor or the ceiling? I mean, you like to think about your compliance, just being, we're doing what we have to do, but we want to go beyond that. We want to really say something. I encourage you to tell your story of what you're doing uh, throughout the campus. If you have a newsletter, if you have whatever, tell that story. Try to get with your PR person, talk about what you're doing. The more you can do that, the more buy-in you're going to get. And again, and I think in the framework that we're in higher ed right now, where there's so much going on and so much competing for, what's on the front burner for our top administrators, you almost have to think that way because good intentions, but things tend to fall off when there's so much competing. So that would be kind of my closing things. If you haven't reached out to your risk manager, if you have an ERM program, take them to coffee. We as risk managers, we would love to do that and have a conversation and think about how you can collaborate more, get that on that top risk list, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, that sounds good, Kathy. I mean, you know, most of you on the call here would be considered my peers, right? We're doing the same work. And I'll just say, in the 12 years I've done this as a brand new coordinator at the bottom of the totem pole kind of a thing. And I've done basically the same kind of a job at an AVP level, reporting to the senior vice president. So it's much easier, right, this way. Um, so, you know, again, I want to just stress that you have to be, it's scary to share maybe the complete reality of your program because everything's probably not perfect. It's not perfect in my program, right? And I was trying to give you some tools to bring that to light without sounding, again, personal, right? That you're blaming somebody. So the more you're able to do that and talk sort of enterprise risk language rather than clearing nuances that your leaders don't understand, I think it's going to be beneficial for you. When we talk about this, I always say to my team, problem finders are easy to find, right? Problem solvers are harder. And so whenever you are seeing some of these issues, I think the concept of not pointing the finger and saying they're not sharing information or we have these issues, bringing something to the table along with that has been very helpful in my mind. What we've been trying to do lately is think less about Cleary and its lane over here and more about sort of integrating what we need for Cleary in existing workflow and processes and systems where they're working well. It may be less pulling things out of student life or Title IX for the Clery specific lane and integrating what we need and the assessments we want into those kind of systems. Um, so that was it. I'm sure again that most of you have a Clery policy and probably a lot of you have a Clery committee at this point. The last nugget I'd leave you with is a few years back in our policy, we identified what we call the Clery Act Executive Oversight Group. So that's sort of a smaller group of the VPs or senior VPs. We report out to the ASR and some other policy decisions. But even if you're able to maybe get something like that going and you're meeting just quarterly to give the updates on your Clery program, that's really where any of these issues that you're having can be worked out, right? When you're bringing those leaders together. So I'm happy we have a policy on that and our executive oversight group and our interdisciplinary review team. Happy to share if you reach out to me.